So, good afternoon, everyone. I'm sorry for the technical glitch. We are basically here to have a webinar on developing and selecting performance measures, which are at the very heart of results-based accountability. This is Chrissy Castro, and I'm going to be joined by Audrey Jordan, also with the Center for the Study of Social Policy, and Arthur Argomanes, who is going to be helping us on the technical end. I wanted to note that there's a chat feature in the webinar, so if you have any questions during the presentation, we invite you to submit your questions, and we'll be fielding those and figuring out if we can respond quickly in real time or whether we can save them for a Q&A that is going to follow the presentation. So just wanted to share a short note that earlier this year, Beth Leeson, also with CSSP, and myself gave a series of in-person trainings on results-based accountability, where we did lightly cover performance measures. And so I just wanted to, name and just kind of put out there that there are a number of learning team members that did participate in that training or have had experience with results-based accountability. And so some of this might be kind of an overview or refresh in that sense. And then there are other members of the learning team who are very new to results-based accountability and, as such, performance measures. And so we really try to take a middle ground, and so we're going to be doing some, just making sure folks understand and are grounded in what performance measures are. And we will also want to offer some tools that you can use to apply in your work with partnerships. Okay. So we have three main objectives during our time together. At the end of our session, we want all participants to be able to understand the context within which performance measures are being developed, including the value of co-design and the connection between the Building Stronger Families framework, learning by doing, and the results-focused community partnership framework. Number two, design and facilitate processes for community partnerships to develop performance measures. And number three, to design and facilitate processes for community partnerships to prioritize and select performance measures. Immediately following this webinar, you will receive a feedback survey. We really want to hear from you whether or not this content worked for you. And we also want to hear from you how we can provide further support during the development and selection process of performance measures in your community. So whether it's another webinar or an in-person session or specific tools or materials, we really want to hear from you about what would be useful for you and your partnerships during this stage. Okay. So just to give some to provide a little bit of context and background, one thing we wanted to say a word about was about co-design. Because all communities are very different and come with their own unique contexts, we really offer this content to learning teams and to community partnerships with not only the invitation, but it's somewhat of an expectation that everyone will look at the content and figure out what works best for them and co-design and tailor it so that it really works and makes sense in the context of your specific community partnership. And so although you're going to have a lot of tools and information and materials, this is just a starting point for what you know and what your community partnerships know will work best for the communities that you're working with. And by co-design, we mean the process amongst the learning team and community partnership members to